Hi students, welcome back to Appleby Academy's classes. So in this video, we are going to discuss specifically about the topic capital structure, and we'll just go through the previous year question from 2020 to 2023. So moving to the first question, that is on December 2020 and June 2021. The basic premise of approach is based on which of the following assumptions? So when you're just going through this capital structure theory, we know that they are giving more focus on the concepts and also about the assumptions. So many times they just got asked you about the, it's a combination question from this particular area about identifying various assumptions of different approaches. Anyway, this time this is just got asked about approach, and now you need to identify a combination of options from this particular question. So the first one is asymmetric information. See, in this question, they didn't specify anything like approach which include tax or which exclude tax like a way that. But whenever the question is like this, without any specification, always assume that it's a first situation of approach, that is excluding tax. That's a first situation in the absence of tax that should be included in these type of questions. And the first one, asymmetrical information, whether option A will be there in case of this. See, asymmetrical information is not at all included in case of approach. Anyway, we already discussed about approach, and let's check it to know how you will going to answer this particular question. Approach means it's about Modigliani-Miller approach, and we know that it's a very important theory when you're just considering about the capital structure theories, and that was developed by Franco Modigliani and Merchant Miller in 1958. And it has two combinations, like in the absence of tax and in the presence of tax. And whenever the question is not giving any specification about tax, you can always consider the first situation, that is in the absence of tax or theory of irrelevance. And what does this approach is actually saying? See, approach is just like net operating income approach, and it's specifying that whenever you are making some changes in your capital structure, that is not going to give any effect in your, it's about in case of your value of the firm or overall cost of capital. So, that is mentioned here. Debt equity mix is irrelevant in the determination of value. That means how much you are using debt or how much you are using equity is not giving any importance in this particular stage. Okay, anyway, it's irrelevant. You can change your capital structure, but that is not going to make any change in the value of the firm. Anyway, it's important that you should go through the assumptions as well. The first one, that there are no taxes and there is a perfect capital market and all investors are acting rationally, and the expected earnings of the firms have identical characteristics, and there is no flotation cost and dividend payout ratio. That means 100% dividend payout ratio. You are just not retaining anything, you are just paying a complete amount to your shareholders, and the cutoff rate is just like it's similar to capitalization rate, and there are no transaction cost. Then the risk associated with personal leverage and corporate leverage are same. These are the assumptions which are related to approach. And based on identifying these assumptions, you need to identify the correct answer. So as we know that asymmetric information will not be there, it is actually considered in the second situation, that is which is including tax. That's the second part of approach. Anyway, here you can eliminate option A. Okay, so here you need to eliminate option A. So based on that, you can eliminate option A and option C, because in both these options A is included. So you can eliminate option A and C. Now it can be either B or C. Okay, so if option B is right, then you can select option D, and if option B is wrong, you can go for option B. Anyway, we'll just go through the second one, efficient capital market. Yes, as we discussed, it's about efficient capital market, or it's a like perfect capital market. You can actually consider the situation. That means B should be there. Okay, B should be there. So, in case of option B, B is not there, right? So, you can actually eliminate option B and you will arrive at option D. So, the correct answer is option D. So, just by looking the first two combination or options, you are able to answer the question, right? This is the positive thing which is related to combination question. So, by just reading one or two or three options, you will be able to answer the question without reading the other options also. Investor rationality, that will be there. Diverse risk profile, no, identical risk profile is considered. So B, C, and then D should not be there. 100% dividend payout, right? So B, C, E. The correct answer for this question is option D. Next question, December 2020 and June 2021. Again, another question from the same year. And what about the question, pecking order theory in finance is based on assertion of. So what is the base you are using in case of pecking order theory? What is this pecking order theory? See, pecking order theory is some theory which is related to capital structure theory, and this particular theory is specifying that how you need to make up your capital structure. For that, how you're going to depend on different sources. Okay, this particular theory is giving you an hierarchy that you have to prioritize. That means you just want to, or you just go through the retained earnings. That's the first source you need to depend. Then only if that retained earnings is not sufficient for you, then only you need to go through some other sources. Like such a hierarchy is given in case of this pecking order theory that was initially suggested by Donaldson, but that was popularized by Mears and Magaluf. That was in 1984. And what's a base which is related to pecking order theory? See, pecking order theory was created on the concept of asymmetric information between managers and investors. And what do you mean by this asymmetric information between managers and investors? See, managers are the persons who are inside that particular company. So, they will get lots of information that is happening in that particular company. But when you're just considering about the investors, see, they are just, they didn't get much more information like that of managers because they are just outsiders. So, here they are taking more risk because they are not much aware about the activities. That means about all activities that is going to happen in an organization. So, they are taking much more risk than these people. So, here the information failure or the information difference in case of these particular person, that is managers and investors, is actually depicted by the word asymmetric information. It's about information failure when one party possesses more or better information than the other party, which causes imbalance in the transaction power. So, here when you are considering managers and investors, we know that managers possess more information related to that particular firm, but when you are just comparing it with investors, they are not holding that much of information related to organization. Thus, that's a base which is used in case of pecking order theory. Okay. So, what's about, so it's a direct question, right? So, asymmetric information between managers and investors, symmetric information. Symmetric means which is same. They are just getting a balanced information. So, B should not be there. Outside information, that's also not wrong. I mean, that is also wrong. And option D, asymmetric information among investors only. Not about investors, it's about between these managers and investors. So, the correct answer for this question is option A. Moving to another question that is on December 2021 and June 2022 cycle, shift 1. Which one of the following approaches of capital structure pleads that debt financing initially increases the value of the firm, however, excess debt financing beyond a particular point reduces the value of the firm? So, here you need to identify which approach is actually giving such an explanation related to valuation of the firm in case of this capital structure combination. So, this is specifically from traditional approach. Okay, we already discussed about net income, net operating, traditional approach, Modigliani-Miller approach, etc. In case of traditional approach, we mainly specifically classifying these changes into 3 stages. And in case of first stages, what is happening is that when you are using or when you are increasing debt proportion in case of capital structure, firstly, it is giving you a positive outcome, like it will decrease your overall cost of capital and that will increase your value of the firm. That is just similar to net income approach. And if you are again increasing debt combination, like in the first stage you got increased 20% and in the second stage you are just increasing by 35%, again that is not going to give you any effect. Okay, in this stage everything remain constant, both overall cost of capital and value of the firm remain constant. It is just going through the optimum level itself. And later again you are increasing, like from 35 you just got increased to 50%. Here what the firm is going to experience is that overall cost of capital will increase. That means it is just giving you a negative result and valuation of the firm will be declined. Okay, value of the firm will be declined. In the third stage, further increase in debt in the capital structure will increase the overall cost of capital and reduces the value of the firm. Anyway, it's a direct question and you can directly go to which answer? Option C, that is traditional approach. Okay. Moving to another question that is on same year, and that was on shift 2. Given below are two statements. One is labeled as assertion and other is labeled as reason. Assertion. Capital structure is determined within debt capacity of a company and it should not be exceeded. Reason. Debt capacity of a company depends on its ability to generate cash flows. It should generate cash enough to pay lenders, fixed charges and principal sum. So what does this assertion is saying about? Capital structure is determined within debt capacity of a company and it should not be exceeded. So when you're just selecting your capital structure, or when you're just thinking about the debt proportion in case of capital structure, you should consider the debt capacity of that particular firm. Okay, what about the debt capacity of the firm? If the firm is able to pay, or if the firm is able to take 5 lakh amount of debt, it's fine. But if you're taking more than that, that will give you a negative outcome. So when you're just considering about the debt proportion that you're going to apply in your capital structure, you should consider about the debt capacity of that particular firm. That means whether when we are going to take this much of debt, whether we are able to repay this amount. Okay, that's important. So that one you need to consider. That is given in case of assertion. So assertion is correct. What about reason? Debt capacity of the firm depends on its ability to generate cash flows. So what do you mean by this debt capacity? See, based on that, or you should be able to repay this amount with your cash flows. Okay, your firm is going to generate cash flows, right? So using this cash flow, you are able to pay back this debt. That is very important. It's about you should be able to pay the fixed charges and also the principal sum using this cash flows. That is important. So reason is also correct, right? And now it's a question is whether reason is supporting assertion. How you can identify whether reason is supporting assertion? Here it is saying about the debt capacity, how the debt capacity is determined, or why we need to take, or the firm should consider about the debt capacity while they are considering about the proportion of capital structure. It is because what is debt capacity is specifically given here. So what you can say is that both A and R are correct and R is the right explanation of A. Okay. Next question on December 2022. According to traditional approach, what is the effect of increase in degree of leverage on the valuation of firm? So this question is actually from traditional approach, and here it is just giving focus on when you are just increasing your debt combination in your capital structure, what is the effect that it is going to give in case of a valuation of firm. So when you're just considering this traditional approach, we will also call it as intermediate approach that was advocated by Ezra Solomon and Fred Weston, and we are also calling traditional approach as midway approach. That name is very important, just know that. And as we know that it's a combination of net operating and net income approach. This traditional approach is actually combination of net income and net operating income. And what does this particular approach is saying? The value of the firm can be increased initially, or cost of capital can be decreased by using more debt, as the debt is cheaper source of fund than equity. So generally what we are saying in case of traditional approach in the first stage, okay, that's why we are explaining it in 3 stages. So first of all, if you are using debt combination in your capital structure, so that time what will happen? See, your firm's value will be improved and the cost of capital will be declined. Okay, so in the first stage, the increased use of debt increases the value of the firm and decreases the overall cost of capital and reaches the optimum level. So first time when you are increasing your debt combination in your capital structure, that will give you a positive result, because that will decline your overall cost of capital and that will increase your value of the firm. And after that, you are again increasing. Like if in the first stage, if they got increased by 20%, and what happened, that just give them a positive result. And again, they are going to increase to 30%, 20 to 30%. What happened? The increase in debt beyond a particular point or limit, there is no effect on the value of the firm and overall cost of capital. So you just got increased again, but what happened? That doesn't give you any effect. That means there is no change for overall cost of capital, and the value of the firm also remain constant. Okay, there is no change which got happen in case of the second level. Okay, again it's going through the optimum level, and again you are increasing debt combination in your capital structure. That will give you a negative result. That is, further increase in debt in the capital structure will increase the overall cost of capital. Here the cost is increasing, and what happens to your value of the firm? That got declined. Okay, so in the first stage, by using more debt, what happens? Value of the firm increased and overall cost of capital decreased. That's a positive aspect. And again, you are using, it's just not giving any change. It's remained constant. Both this cost of capital and also the value of the firm remain constant. It is just continuing on the optimum level. And again, you are increasing. On the third stage, again, you are increasing your debt composition. What happens? The overall cost of capital increased and value of the firm declined. Okay, negative result. Okay, so based on that, can you answer this question? See, when you are increasing your leverage or debt, yes, the value of the firm is increasing, but in the first stage. And B, decreases. Yes, decreasing also happening, that is in the third stage. Option C, remain unaffected, which is also happening in case of second stage. And option D, increases first and then decreases. So in this case, A can be there, A is actually happening, option B is also right, option C is also right, but you need to identify the proper option. Okay, if increases is happening, not only increases is happening, decreases is also there and remain unaffected, that position is also there. So you can just go for the best option, that is option D, because firstly, which is increasing, then it is decreasing. Okay, if there is another option like increasing first, then remain constant for particular period and then decrease. If there is a such option, you can just go for that. Here, the best option you can go for this particular question is option D, increases first and then decreases. Okay, moving to the last question. Which of the following theories of capital structure articulates that a firm borrows up to point where the tax benefit from extra debt is exactly equal to cost that comes from increased probability of financial distress? So here you have four options: static theory, net income approach, Modigliani-Miller, net operating income approach. So here we are going to discuss about another theory, that is trade-off theory or static theory. What is this trade-off or static theory? See, when you are just using debt financing or when you are just using debt in your capital structure, what's the benefit that you are getting from this debt financing? It's about the tax benefit, right? As we know that interest is a tax deductible item, you will get tax benefit. So in order to get this tax benefit and in order to, it's very important that you should be, you are just raising your fund from debt based on your debt capacity. Okay, so you should be able to take this or you should be able to consider this debt capacity of the firm, and you should also try to maximize the benefit of debt through using debt financing. So such a combination is actually happening in case of this trade-off theory. Firm cannot be sure to benefit from full tax shield if it is borrows excessively, as it takes positive earnings to save corporate tax. So if you are earning or if you're just covering up your excess debt capacity, or if you're just borrowing more than your debt capacity, you will not be able to get full benefit of tax, or you are just not be able to get the 100% of tax benefit from the same. So that it's just make a balanced version of that. You should be able to get the benefit. You should consider about the tax benefit also. Based on that, you should determine your debt composition. Okay. So that is actually given in case of this trade-off theory. So that is also mentioned in case. You should be where the tax benefit from extra debt is exactly equal to. That means based on that, you should be able to attain the tax benefits also. So which is the right answer for this question? That is option A, static theory. So for the next time when they are asking about static theory, they can actually use the word like trade-off theory. So it is important that you should be able to identify both these are same. Anyway, the right option for this question is option A. So in this video, we mainly discussed about the questions from capital structure theory, that is about 2020 to 2023 questions. So you can see how they are actually asking questions from this particular area. They are specifically asking about particular concept, and they are also asking about the assumptions related to each and every theory. Anyway, this time we discussed about approach. So like a way that they can also ask like net operating income, net income approach, like a way that they can also ask from various approaches also. And when you're just going through some theories, it is important that you should go through assumptions as well. Not at all in case of this capital structure theory. We are also studying lots of assumption in case of dividend theories and all. So that time also that assumptions is very important. They are just giving more focus on this assumptions while they are, when you are just going through this previous year question, you can see that such an importance is given in this particular area. So you need to give focus to these assumptions, as well as you should be able to identify basics related to every theories. Okay, what does each theory specifies about capital structure? how that is going to affect, or what's the changes that is actually happening due to changes in capital structure. That is very important, and you should be very focused on these areas. Is that okay? So I hope this topic is clear for you, and just go through the previous year question. And I hope this video will help you for your preparation. Thank you and happy learning.